about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Houde.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here with Amy Houde. We have a packed show today. Man, it's a Monster Energy 1-2 punch coming at you. We got my boy Vaughn Gittin Jr., the professional fun haver. He raced King of the Hammer. He's got Formula Drift kickoff coming up. He's on the line. Jeez, Hood, it's been like, I got to look back, maybe a year and a half since we've had Vaughn on. It's been, you and I did tag team that interview, and I'm trying to think back. Like, that was a long time ago we had Vaughn Gittin on, so it's been a long time coming having him back.
Yeah, I love when guests come back on the show. I don't think it was too long ago, though. I remember kind of giving him a hard time for stealing my, my professional title of the professional fun haver. That's mine, but we can share, I guess.
Yeah, and speaking of other guests that it's been a long time, man, we're going to have to go deep into the archives, but my good friend Casey Currie, he is on air. He was actually at NASCAR jumping off-road trucks on the straightaway at Daytona, putting on demos. But he also raced King of the Hammers a week ago. This is a dude that is all over the country. I think he's going to do like 40 events this year, something crazy like that. But Casey Currie on the line. We got Matt Martelli. He's going to be calling in, talking about the Mint 400. We're only like 2.5, 3 weeks out from the Mint 400, one of the biggest, baddest off-road races of the year. And you know what? We may actually talk just a hair, maybe like 20 seconds of NASCAR to kick things off, because I don't ever watch NASCAR. I watch this weekend, and you want to talk about shenanigans, I just can't even handle it. But so we'll probably talk some NASCAR for about a hair of a second to kick the show off. Supercross, man, Ken Roxon, he is down and out again. We got so much to talk about. It is a loaded show. Amy and I got 2 hours of goodness coming at you here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online in syndication on networks across the U.S. and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
And we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver and Amy Houde here, who is now, officially an American resident full-time, you said, right? Like, am I getting that right? Like, you officially checked out on Canada? You're in the United States, like, full-time?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, super busy with Monster Jam. We got World Finals coming up. It's slowly turning into summertime here in California, so you better believe I am not going back to the North Pole anytime soon. But, we can talk about this later. Other than my Camp Moto, which, Jim, I kind of introduced to you, a couple months ago already, but things are kind of slowly getting in the work there. We can talk about it in another segment when we have time. I know we're jam-slammed full of awesomeness today, but I will be heading back up to Canada this summer because I'm going to be hosting the ever infamous Camp Moto. It's basically like summer camp with dirt bikes. Drop your kids off, parents go on a holiday, and leave your kids with me, and we're going to ride dirt bikes and have the best times of our lives. So
seriously,
with more information around that.
I just find it funny the way you pitched that. Like, seriously, you're like, yeah, parents, just drop your kids off, leave them with me, and I'll handle everything. And I'm going, like, I love you, Amy, but like that just almost sounds so questionable right there. Like, these kids are never going to be the same. That's a good thing. No, I'm just
the best.
I'm giving you
I'm the best. I mean, you can totally keep kids occupied with dirt bikes and a good time. And, like, that's – if there's something I know how to do, and surprisingly, considering, yes, I am like a giant child myself. I'm an adult child, you know that like gray area between where you refuse to grow up. But I know how to keep kids entertained, and I know how to have a good time, and I know how to turn them into little motocross champions. So, I think I got this, Jim.
Yeah, I'm like thinking about the fun stuff. You ever made like potato launchers? Like I'm just thinking of all the stuff the shenanigans you could have with kids, like spud guns and like. Oh my goodness! Jim,
after the show today, we'll have a chat because again, I'm going to kind of drop this all in one big ball of awesomeness. But the events and the activities that I have planned for those 3 days at Camp Moto is absolutely epic. Like I can't even. I don't even want to ruin the surprise yet because I still got lots of planning left to do. But we'll talk off air, and I'll tell you, and your mouth is going to drop. Like I am like the creative of creators as well. Like I like making things the coolest possible. So, I'm so excited. This is going to be like my baby, and it's going to blow out of the water. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, that should be a ton of fun for the kids. So we got to talk our 30 seconds of NASCAR talk today. Daytona 500. I don't watch a lot of NASCAR. I'm an IndyCar fan. If we got to talk mainstream motorsports, you guys know this. But I watched the whole Daytona 500 this Sunday. I was working on a bunch of projects, so I watched the entire thing, start to finish. I had a bunch of proposals and paperwork I had to do, and so it's like I just left that on, and it was like figure skating at the Olympics was the alternative, and I'm like, I'm tapped out on figure skating. Like I can appreciate it for one night, but for like 2 weeks straight, like I draw the line. Like they're talented, but I just can't sit through 2 weeks worth of figure skating. So NASCAR it was, and I don't like NASCAR because like I've never seen something so like like just crashed to win. Like there was like 5 cars left running. Poor Danica had like a career race going on, and like somebody crashed somebody. She's 10 cars back and gets taken out, no fault of her own. And then at the finish, you got Eric Amarola, who is going to win the whole darn thing. They got 2 laps left. There's like half a lap from the finish, and the guy behind him just goes, nah, I think I'm going to win the race. And Austin Dillon just literally goes and rams him, puts him into the wall, passes him. Amarola's out, crashed, got like 50th place, and Austin Dillon goes on and wins the race. I'm like, dude, like the winner is in the wall.
Like, is that allowed?
Oh, they didn't care. They didn't care.
What?
That's why I was just like even in Supercross, there's a little bit of morals. I mean, there's takeout moves and stuff like that, but like, I mean, it was just like, I don't know. I was just like, wow, this is why I watch IndyCar. Like, I don't know.
I'm very, very surprised with how professional, NASCAR tries to be, that they would allow moves like that, especially like half a lap left to go. Like, where's the talent behind just crashing the leader into a wall and winning the Daytona 500? Where do you draw the line between, like, hate to say it, but cheating almost? I mean, I understand that maybe I didn't watch it because I don't go left. I had jumped and actually do stuff on my motorsports. No offense, it's okay. I'm always gonna poke fun at NASCAR.
I gotta get you to the Indy 500. You would like going left at the Indy 500. Like you would be so like,
yeah,
oh,
that's
wow.
fine. But where do you draw the line between having a what's the word for it, like a legitimate win? Like how can he legitimize that win and say, oh yeah, I fair and square won the Daytona 500? No, you didn't.
They interviewed him.
You could have passed the guy legitimately, so you rammed him into the wall and made, why didn't you pass him, fairly where he could finish second and not ruin his race and, hit money for his sponsors and, everything else that guy worked for when, that guy had to make a dirty pass. I just don't think that's right.
Yeah, it was. I'll have to text you the clip if I can find it. But they interviewed him after the race, and they said, "You just won the Daytona 500. Take us through those last 2 laps." And he goes, "Yeah, last lap I was in second place. I did what I had to do to win." That was all he said.
Did they interview the other guy?
Oh, the other guy was just like, you could tell. He's like, man, I thought I won the Daytona 500. Obviously, I didn't. Like, and the fans, like, if you go and look through Twitter and use like hashtag Daytona 500, oh man, they are getting some heat. Like, they backed up the guy that got put into the wall, Eric Amarola. Like,
I'm sure. They did.
It was like, I don't know.
People want to see people win, fair and square. They want to see them win by, the seat of their pants. They actually had a pretty cool pass. And one of the speedsters, like last corner before the finish line, going down the inside and made a clean, nice pass, and the crowd goes wild. The crowd's not going to go wild when you throw someone into a wall and right before the end of the race. Like, it's just dirty. It's dirty.
There's hard racing and there's dirty racing, and I'm all for hard racing. Lean on each other, rubbings racing, elbows in motocross, banging doors and fenders, like all about that, right? But just blatant takeout moves, no. That's where I draw the line. So that was the Daytona 500. But so between that and the Olympics, I'm an Olympics junkie, so I've kind of bobsledding starting up. I'm pretty pumped for that. But
okay. It's really funny, Jim. I know we're talking right now about the dirty moves, but do you remember last year at, when Zach Osborne made the dirtiest move of all time and won, and we loved it, and we just thought it was, well, maybe that might have been a little bit different, I guess, for the championship. I don't know.
We gotta. That's one of those.
With NASCAR and Moto.
That's a Facebook poll. I need to put the videos side by side and say which of these is acceptable and which isn't, and see if people have an actual answer. Like that's a good question, though.
That's a great idea.
Where do you draw the line? I think that's a genius idea, Amy Houde.
Way cooler,
So, anyways, what is this you're telling me about Monster Jam World Finals? We got to go to a break here in a couple minutes, but you were texting me like you got something to say about Monster Jam World Finals. What the heck's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, Monster Jam World Finals is coming up really shortly for 2000, and 18. So March 23rd and 24th, I'm going to be heading to Vegas for Monster Jam World Finals. Obviously, the lineup has not been yet released, but I'm really excited. I can't wait. But we have some huge news in the Monster Jam world that 2019, we are moving a Monster Jam World Finals from Las Vegas, which it has been for years.
Wow.
And we are going to be actually going to a new city every single year to be able to give fans all over the country, that experience
like
of
the Super
hosting
Bowl.
the World Finals. Yeah.
Move it around.
You know what? I'm so excited. And 2019, we're going to be holding them in New York. Like
Wow.
New York City, how unreal. Like it's going to be, kind of like New Year's Eve downtown New York City for Monster Jam. They got to make the ball drop for us, I think. But I
That'd be
just
rad.
think it's so exciting. I'm excited as an athlete. Like I'm excited that I get to go and, travel all over to host this iconic, huge event. And it gives fans in different regions the opportunity to come and see all their favorite monster trucks, in one place, one of the biggest motorsports events of the year, closer to home. And I'm excited, and I just thought that was really exciting. So,
That is rad.
there you go, guys. We're going
that's
to be
big.
in New York City next year.
And I've got some friends here locally. Monster Jam World Finals, that's like vacation time. They take their kids out of school. People don't realize how big that is. But we got to take a short break. We come back. We got Matt Martelli with the Mint 400. Big news coming out of the Mint 400. We're only a couple weeks out. He'll be talking about that here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here. My good friend Matt Martelli with Mad Media and the Mint 400. and the UTV World Championship, and I don't know, quite a few other projects. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, stoked.
Yeah, so
hello, welcome.
Yeah, so we're like 2.5 weeks out from the mint, 2.5 give or take, man, and things are firing on all 8 cylinders for sure.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. We're on like the hour-by-hour countdown, which is stressful, but it's awesome. It's really exciting for us. So we've got a lot of really cool new stuff going on that we're excited to share with people. And sold out race. We've got 400 entries and another 175 on a wait list. So that's a good problem and a bad problem. I need a bigger loop.
That's crazy. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, everybody wants to talk about the olden days of off-road and, we used to get 400 entries and this and that, and there was no cap. And I'm looking at this, I'm just still like, dude, how many, have you ever sat down and you and I bench race from time to time, but how many off-road vehicles, I'm talking about competitive desert racing vehicles, do you actually think are sitting here in the Southwest and in Baja that actually right now could go and race? I'm not talking something that needs a $200,000 restoration, but I mean something that actually go out and race.
I think there's easily over 1,000, and really the big paradigm shift here that we have to recognize is the Polaris RZR. Now we have these vehicles that you can go buy it from a dealership, and with a little bit of effort, you can turn them into race cars. And I don't want to get too off topic from the Mint, but we're going to announce here shortly the new stock rally class that is basically a stock vehicle with safety equipment, and then you can come race the UTV World Championship with that car. So it's pretty rad, and what's cool about it is that we've got a 50-year history of our style of desert racing now, and so we have the vintage cars, and we have the class ones and trophy trucks and 6100s and Jeep Speed and 1450 and 7108, and we've got a really deep field of vehicles that you can come out and race at really at any cost and price level. So that's my favorite thing about this sport and our culture, is that it's truly American. Like, if you can get your buddies together and put together a Jeep or put together a Ranger, you can come race, and you can race the same race that all the big guys are racing in trophy truck.
Right, and I think that's what's really cool.
Yeah, and that was really cool, actually, Jim and Matt. Hanging out here in California, I've actually ran into people that were like, "Oh yeah, the Mid 400. Me and my buddies, we had a car, or I worked crew for somebody." Or a lot of people have a Mid 400 story, and last year that they went, and I'm kind of finding this out as I go down to OB or PB, or just talking with some of my buddies here, that there's so many more people involved that I didn't know. And even on the crewing side and being part of the team and the behind the scenes, there's a lot of people who get involved with the Mint, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like,
it's really inclusionary. This culture is about families. It's about including everybody. All the way down to the guys who are prepping the vehicles to all the top level people as well. And not to mention women. I mean, you look at the field of women that's just exploding right now. It's really cool to see.
Yeah. Well, talking about women, we gotta mention. So one of the big things this year, Miss Mint coming back, but the kicker is you win Miss Mint, you're actually racing in the Mint 400 in 2019. Like, that's pretty big, Matt.
Yeah, we wanted to steer the whole narrative into, this idea that, it's a celebration of the history of the Mint and obviously the beauty of women, but, we wanted to steer the narrative towards the strength of women too, is that, this is one of those sports and one of those cultures where, you don't need to be a big, muscly, no neck dude to win, So it's very possible that a woman could get in a trophy truck and go spank all the boys. So we want to encourage that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to try to rework, Monster Jam World Finals because I have 1 week off, which is my birthday week. And I know the Mint used to be kind of a week earlier. But now, unfortunately, it coincides with another Monster Jam event, because I know me and my girls, we could definitely rile up a pretty cool alpha female team. And half of them race motocross, half of them drive razors. My girl Jackie, she does the most intense off-road racing, but I know a lot of girls that I got to kind of persuade towards doing the Mint, and they're beautiful and badass. So I'm all for that, and I'm all for showcasing a beauty and a beast, if you will. So a girl going and winning Miss Mint and then going and winning the Mint. I just think that is an awesome concept. I'm totally behind it, and if you need any help, you let me know, and I'll push some girls towards you.
Definitely, we'll take any help that we can get, because the original idea of the Miss Mint contest, as started by KJ Howe, was really to reach outside of off-road racing and to make a touch point that was mainstream. So that's what we're trying to do. And again, we think it's going to be really cool and start a new tradition of Miss Mint racing and staying with the culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that idea too. I like the idea of not just being a beauty contest, because I was Miss Mint. I went into the Miss Mint contest, and the year that I went in, there was Katie Vernola, Bro Jack or Jackie Cohensar. That's where actually Jackie and I met. Then you had a bunch of other racers and all these girls who actually drove, who were participating in the Miss contest. And a girl who actually didn't drive won, but I think it really got the juices flowing and the ideas kind of going where, look at all these girls who applied, actually drive and actually ride. So I just think you're definitely taking that in the right direction now. I think you're going to really legitimize it and get a lot more girls interested in the competition itself.
Well, that's the idea, and we want to have a lot of fun with it, but that's not all. I mean, this year we're going to 2 days of contingency, which is going to be awesome. So we'll have contingency on Thursday and Friday. And we've added a few new events. One of the first new events that we've added is called the Legends Rally, which we had to do a few tweaks to be in line with all the regulations per the BLM. But we're going to take you out on the old Mint course, one of the first Mint courses, and do a little bit of riding out there. So there's a few spots left, I believe, but that one's almost full. And then we have the parade on Wednesday, which is already slammed full with lots of people on the wait list. And then that night we're doing a new event called Dinner of Champions, where you get to sit down and have dinner with some of the champions of off-road, of present and past. And I'm pretty excited about this, because we're going to have guys like Jack Johnson and Rod Hall there, who have a long legacy in off-road. And then, some of the guys that are currently active, like, the guy I'm straight up calling the GOAT, the greatest of all time, is Rob McCachran. Yeah. So he'll be there as well. And we've got Chef Drew Deckman and a couple other guys doing the food. So it's going to be awesome food and drink. And that's at Atomic Kitchen. And we still have tickets left for that one, so it's going to be a really cool kickoff to the week.
Yeah, well,
I love that. I love that. It's so cool adding all that new stuff every year. You guys definitely progress.
Well, and I know you and your brother. I mean, it's one of those you guys actually you're active on the forums. You guys listen to the feedback from the fans. You're trying to make the Mint, what I mean, as great as it can be, but also, you want to make it functional and run smooth. And I mean, you take the feedback that everybody is giving you, and it's things like 2-day contingency. I mean, that's not easy to do. That's a massive undertaking. But for you guys to step out there and say, hey, we're going to do this because it's going to make the event better for the competitors, to me, that's a big deal, Matt. And I thank you guys for that, because you're some of the few, people in this industry, that actually listen to the feedback from the racers and try and make your events better.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but we're always going to be trying to evolve and improve. And, not everything we do is going to work, but we're going to keep trying, and we are listening. I'm an off-roader. I race, and I will continue to race. And so I see it from that perspective as well. We also want to continue to add value for the sponsors. And, all the people that don't even know how great this sport is. we want to add value to the point where this is an undeniable event. I mean, it cost per, family is so remarkably low. You can't do something like this with your family over the weekend for this cost. I mean, you can't even drive into a parking lot for, less than $50 nowadays. And when you have a family of 4, feeding them tickets, etc., you're a few $1,000s going to one night of entertainment. And
Absolutely.
the whole weekend of the Mint doesn't even cost that. So, that's a big thing for us, is to continually add value to the event and make it better.
Yeah. Well, and we got to go to a break here in about 30 seconds, Matt, but where can people find out more information? I know parking passes, spectator passes are filling up quick. I mean, where can people go and get all the details on all that?
Well, it's pretty logical if you Google it, but it's themint400.com. That's where everything's at.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Matt. We will definitely, I think we're going to do this every week until the Mint, so we'll catch up with you again next week, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. Take it easy, Matt.
See you later.
All right.
And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound of the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here with Amy Houde, joined on the line by Casey Currie. How's everything going, my friend?
Everything's going good, man. Just busy out in Charlotte, North Carolina right now.
I know it's
right on.
I was trying to think
What's
back.
going on there?
Yeah, it's been like 2 years since I think you've been on the show or something, and I know we've talked since then. And every time I ping you, you're at an event somewhere, and I think you've got like 40 events lined up this year or something, right?
Yeah, last year we did 45, and right now we're looking to do the same. So it's just everything is going good, and we're busy and trying to just make it all happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk King of the Hammers here in a minute, but I know, dude, I was impressed. I watched the whole Daytona 500, which is crazy for me to sit down and watch an entire NASCAR race. But you got some pop on TV, dude. Like, that's pretty big for off-road to have a guy, jumping trucks there and, mention Casey Currie on the broadcast. I'm like, man, that you got to feel pretty stoked on that, man. That's not too many people can say that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, Monster Energy's done a phenomenal job with the whole Monster Energy NASCAR activation area, and to bring in the off-road race trucks and put them on asphalt and hit some jumps. Like, what you don't realize is, like, for us, we get so used to hitting dirt jumps and going, crazy high in the air and long distance. And a lot of people in the world don't really see anything jump. So even on metal ramps that are putting the trucks, 5, 10 feet in the air and 40, 50-foot jumps, man, a lot of these people, it's the craziest thing they've ever seen. So it's cool to be able to show everybody that.
And I never thought about that, but we probably are pretty spoiled being here in the Southwest, right? Because you and I, we can go to a short course race, we can go to a desert race. Like, we see trucks jump all the time. We jump trucks all the time, razors at Glamis or UTVs, and, like, you never figure, like, people in certain areas of the country, like, seeing something get a foot or two off the ground, that's, like, mind-blowing, right?
Well, especially a NASCAR audience as well. NASCARs are so, like, the diehard NASCAR fans who tune in every single weekend and, go to the Daytona 500, they're used to just seeing people on asphalt going left. So I really think you're opening their eyes to, what this motorsport has to offer also, instead of just going left, but actually, hitting some jumps. I think it's cool doing that crossover and opening their eyes to such a bigger, audience. Yeah, I just think it's such a smart idea by Monster, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's good. It really is. And like, what's crazy is our activations, when you're getting a crowd of 25 to 40,000 people 3 times a day, and all 3 or 4 of those times are new crowds, it's definitely an experience to be able to show that many new people off-road race trucks.
Yeah, that's massive numbers, and I know you guys have done some stuff with Supercross. I mean, you personally, you've done some stuff even with Monster Jam in the past. Like, you've been really good about marketing your partners and putting on shows and stuff like that. But that's, and I look at your social media following, and it's crazy. I mean, it's got to have been a big help being able to do these activations with Monster and this placement with your trucks and these demos and things like that. For growing your brand, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a great relationship with Fel. I used to do 5 to 10 activations with them a year. This year, I personally took it off just to spend the first 2 months of the year with my family rather than being on the road before all the craziness started. But we'll be at Vegas Supercross. I'm going to New York, and I'm going to do an event out there for Monster with Supercross. I'm going to go to there's 2 more stops on the NASCAR tour. So, we're definitely trying to bring the brands to more of the motocross and NASCAR crowd. So, I mean, it's good. It's cool for me because, I get to meet a lot of new fans and show a lot of people how to do it. And every truck I have is 2 seats. So, I give Kurt Busch a ride. I give all these other athletes rides. And also it's them promoting what we're doing. So, to me, it's a win-win.
Yeah. Well, and do you feel like at some point, like I love watching like your career arc, you know what I mean, and how things have gone. Like, I mean, you're a hardcore racer. Like, don't get me wrong, you jump in a pro light truck or you go to King of the Hammers, and like you're expected to run up front because you're that guy. But like you become such like. You hear guys talk about being a race car driver means you should really be a marketing company, and there's very few that really do that. But I look at what you've built, and you are so much a marketing company, Casey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the times have changed. I really think that, the crowds of people don't, I feel, want to watch those 30 or 45-minute races anymore. I think there's a lot of people that want to see the exciting crashes or the people that are winning. Just like you say, absolutely. I mean, the pressure of still going to everything good and winning is very important. But now it's not going to 20 events a year that are racing. It's going to 6 big events and then doing a lot of other activations. But I mean, the times have changed. I mean, there's a lot going on in off-road right now that's not racing related. A lot of companies want to see product selling, and the old days of let me put a logo in your car and give me money, and it's going to show the world it is kind of gone. Now it's how do you sell the product? How do you really put the product on those vehicles? And with me, with also that going on Jeep and with Monster and NASCAR and Supercross, like my goal now is like how do we sit there and sell product to all those people?
Yeah, and that's the
and
question,
and
right?
we've talked about this before on the show. We talk about this a lot, but I feel like that's the cool thing about the guests that we bring on. This market, the motorsports market, is becoming so saturated. It's not what it was 10 years ago when there's 3 to 5 big guys on top. How do you become relevant to the millions and millions of eyes who are now on the motorsports industry? You kind of got to do something different. You got to break out from just being a racer to being, almost that iconic brand ambassador or being a public figure. People who've done such a great job, obviously Ken Block, Robbie Madison with his dirt bike on the water, but doing these, doing stuff different that's outside of the box. And I think that's what you, Casey, are doing as well, jumping from different mediums, from poking the nose into NASCAR to Monster Jam to motocross, and really branding yourself across all platforms and just doing something different. Not only is attractive to your sponsors and the brands behind you, but also to the fans. I mean, it's entertaining. We want to see what you're going to do next. We want to see what Casey Currie has up his sleeve. But that's what's going to keep you relevant for when you're done doing your racing career, for whatever's next and what's beyond. And I think that's what a lot of these athletes now are doing such a great job of, is branding outside of their particular discipline.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the biggest thing now is I think a lot of people just want to have fun. A lot of the fans that I have, they want to go drive their Can-Ams or the Polaris Razors or their, Jeeps or their trucks. And, even whether you're in the United States or in another country or on the West Coast or East Coast, my thing is trying to reach an audience that of people that are actually want to go out and spend the weekends camping and going out and just having the most fun that they can have. And maybe they're not the ones in the grandstands, but they're the ones sitting there wanting to learn what they can do to better themselves for their weekend off adventure.
Yeah. So talking about your 2018 plans, I know you went to King of the Hammers. We'll talk about that in a minute. But as far as racing goes, what are the plans? I know King of the Hammers, I know we saw you at Crandon last year. I mean, what's the plans with the big events? I know you always try and get something to Baja at some point. I mean, what are your plans for competition?
So right now the goal is the Hammers Mint, 500,000. Crandon, I'd like to go overseas to either King of Portugal and do one more European rock crawling event. And then it's kind of early to say this, but I want to go to Dakar. So right now, the reason I haven't announced the schedule is I want to go to Dakar. So I have a deal halfway done. I can't really say anything much about it right now, but if the deal happens, I'm going to be racing 2 different World Rally events and then hopefully Dakar in 19.
Yeah, well, in Dakar, that's such a massive commitment. I don't think people realize it's not just writing a check and going. Like, the commitment level to go and compete at Dakar it's unlike anything we have in the States. I mean, it's next level, and I don't think fans like at home, they can comprehend racing for 2 weeks straight, and just the dollar amount that goes into actually being competitive and actually being able to do that for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a gnarly deal. I give Bryce mad kudos because just in the time that we've been talking about this for the last 4 months and having all the meetings and everything. But I mean, if the deal goes down, I'll spend close to 60 days overseas between testing, doing rallies, and then team building and team exercises to basically have myself ready to go. Which you think of it, for one 14-day race, I spend 60 days. That's not servicing or prepping the cars. That's literally actually doing something that's taking place inside the race car.
That's nuts, man. It's crazy. So before we let you go, we got to talk about King of the Hammers real quick. That was a couple of weeks ago. I know you had a pretty big presence there with multiple vehicles. I mean, that event's another one that's just kind of spiraled into this massive, like, you have to be there type of event. I mean, how'd things go for you there? I know we saw you had some pretty solid runs. I mean, what's, how is that event, and how's it become such a big part of, what you do every year?
The event is iconic now. It's the only week-long event in the United States that's successful. The Mint is growing, but it's still only a 3-day event to me. There's only action, 1 or 2 days, and that's the only event that you show up on Friday, the week before, and basically qualify UTV Saturday, the Moto Saturday night, Moto Sunday, qualifying the Everyman Challenge cars Monday, the big cars Tuesday, race UTVs Wednesday, race the Everyman Challenge Thursday, race the big race Friday. There's action every day for the fans. So now, as far as all the people, if you're right, and we race every class -1. So I don't like to sleep. And this year I took on 5. I brought out 5 UTVs. I personally raced. My brother raced. My uncle raced, and 2 guys from Los Angeles raced in Can-Ams. I finished 4th overall at Bone Stock Can-Am. We didn't modify. All I did was put some HCR arms on it and drove the piss out of its stock. So I didn't do any shock testing. I didn't do any skid plates, sway bars, any shocks. I didn't do anything. I didn't even change the axles. But the car is phenomenal. The bonus, we got 4th, qualified 3rd. Had a little bit of downtime. My brother finished 12th. And then the big race, qualified top 10. Ended up breaking an A-arm tab on the chassis and pulled the whole plug on that car and ran a backup car for the big race. I had 2 cars out there qualified, so ended up saving my car for the Mint. It was one of those deals that I'd have been thrashing to get to the main event, and so I just pulled the plug on it to save it for the Mint and ended up losing an engine in my backup car, which was a brand new engine. So it's one of those days, but overall the event was successful. A lot of great companies came out. We do a massive catering deal there. We have carpet and direct TV and a band playing and catering services. I mean, we go out in a big way. I bring 45 people there. So it's an entourage of shit going on. But honestly, for that event, it's what it needs to be successful. And for me as a brand and all the brands that support me and the sport, I try to take care of everybody out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I know you posted some pictures of your hospitality out there on the lake bed, and I was just like, wow, man, like it was got my wheels ticking for the Mint 400. I'm like, this is how Casey does things. Maybe I ought to up my hospitality game for the Mint this year with the people we've got coming in. But, man, good stuff, buddy. But I appreciate you taking the time, man. I know you're all over the place. We need to catch up more than, I guess, once every 2 years with everything you got going on, buddy.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you guys are all well. And, yeah, absolutely. Things are always moving, and we're definitely jamming. So right now I'm booked solid till September before I even have a weekend off on the books.
Wow.
So
keeps life exciting, that's for sure, man. But we'll see you in a couple weeks at the Mint 400, buddy.
You got it. We'll see you guys soon.
All right. Thanks, Casey.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
All right, that was Casey Currie. Man, a guy that's all over the place and, just a class act, and always fun catching up with him. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we got some Supercross results coming at you on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Hey, it's Rob Riggle.
And Sarah Tiana.
And you are listening to Riggle's Picks.
Yeah, and a ham horn. And we have a new podcast available on the Apple Podcasts, podcast1.com, and the Podcast One app. If you love the show, share it with a friend and leave us a rating and review.
Every Thursday, we're going to sit around and we're going to talk about the things that really excite us, like life, comedy, sports, a lot of sports.
Ourselves.
A lot of Sarah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you join us.
They gained international success with their Grammy Award-winning song, Heaven. See Los Lonely Boys with featured artist Lisa Morales. Live Saturday, March 24th on the amphitheater stage at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. General admission now $29. $39 the day of the show. Or VIP tickets only $59. Tickets on sale now.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water. Right on the money.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And I got to tell you about something that our good friends at AMSOIL got going on. And you know what? They're giving away a trip to one of the greatest spectacles in all of motorsports, the Indy 500. And it's just not any trip. It's the ultimate Indy 500 fan experience brought to you by AMSOIL, the maker of some of the best synthetic motor oils on the planet, and they're giving it away this spring. One grand prize winner will win a trip of a lifetime to the Indy 500 to watch some of the fastest cars and best drivers battle to have their names etched alongside the greats like Foyt, Andretti, Unser, and Castroneves. But that's not all. Listen to what else awaits the grand prize winner. They're going to give you pit access, dinner with an Indy 500 legend, VIP track access, sweet access to watch the race, a grand in cash, round-trip airfare for two to and from Indianapolis, Indiana, hotel accommodations for two people for up to 5 nights, ground transport to and from the airport, hotel, and speedway, and a chance to meet the drivers. Just like what they do when they're making high-performance synthetic motor oils, AMSO went the extra mile with this sweepstakes. If that's not enough, 10 first-place winners will receive one free digital download code for Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game. So to enter the AMSO Ultimate Indy 500 fan experience, text Indy, that's I-N-D-Y, to 41487. That's Indy, I-N-D-Y, to 41487, or visit amsoil.com/Indy. And I got to tell you, I have been to the Indy 500, and I've had VIP access, and you guys should definitely get in on that. AMSO giving that away, and it's going to be a phenomenal trip for somebody. And, hey, worst case, maybe you'll win a copy of Monster Energy Supercross, the video game. Yeah, wrapping up hour number 1, Casey Currie, Matt Martelli. We've talked a ton of all kinds of stuff. Hour number 2, we have 2 segments with our boy Vaughn Gittin Jr. We got our Optimus Terracross segment, and Amy and I will be talking some Supercross, so that's still to come here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Thanks to everybody tuning in on Facebook Live, something new we're doing. If you're listening to national syndication, you want to hear us on Tuesdays, we're online and on Facebook Live now. You can skip over there and listen to that feed, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. We got a quick hit segment, and this is some Supercross results from this past weekend. And Amy, I gotta say, did you watch the shenanigans and at the start of I believe it was the 250 main event?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. They said the 250s pulled a 250, and it kind of made me laugh because they talk about the 250 class being like these young, hopped up, basically like high school boys with their testosterone and out to prove every point in the world on who's the fastest, and it's basically a cluster F or a cluster disaster. And it basically was. The 250s pulled the 250 hardcore.
It was gnarly. It was like bikes and humans going everywhere. I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before, though.
I know. It was.
I've seen that before, definitely, and it sucks. I mean, the start is the most pivotal point in a race. If people who listen in and don't know anything about motocross and supercross, especially supercross, because supercross is not as long and grueling as an outdoor moto event where you have some time to kind of capitalize on any mistakes at the beginning. But the start really sets a tone for how the race is going to play out. Like if you have to work your way from the back of the pack due to a shitty start, you're exerting all of your energy, your risk of being behind slower guys, and they're slowing you down and they're making mistakes. And the start is such a pivotal point to put yourself in a good position where you can focus on your race and the fast guys who are around you if you're one of the top. Or if you're not one of the top guys and you're one in the back and you get a great start, I mean, you get to ride with the fastest and kind of put yourself in a position where you can, watch the guy in front of you, look for lines, and you don't have to spend your time in the back of the pack with all the yuppies, crashing into each other. So, I mean, poor everybody who ended up in that cluster mess of a disaster. It sucks, and it's such a mental kind of defeat when you go down on the start, and it's really hard to get in the right mentality for the rest of the race.
Yeah. Well, I know we've got to give a shout-out. Tomac taking the win. Anderson's still your points leader. Zach O with starting out the East just like he did finished last year with the win. And I got to give a shout-out to Jimmy Dakota, very first ever podium in the 250s. Dakota.
Get it right there. So. He's from Boston.
All right.
Dakota.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean, our boy Anderson, he's got a pretty solid points lead, Jim. Like, he is gonna be your 450 overall champion this year. I'm saying that with confidence because I want it to happen, and I'm doing a little praise to the motocross gods out there. But man, I am stoked for him. He is having the best year of his life, best season of his life for sure.
Yeah, definitely having a solid season. We got to take a short break. We come back. Joe Duncan, Optimus starts Terracross segment coming up after this. Want want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
They gained international success with their Grammy Award-winning song, Heaven. See Los Lonely Boys with featured artist Lisa Morales. Live Saturday, March 24th on the amphitheater stage at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. General admission now $29. $39 the day of the show. Or VIP tickets only $59. Tickets on sale now.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Houde? Follow at JimBeaver15 and at AmyHood71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, along with Joe Duncan. This is our Terracross Starts with Optimus segment, brought to you by our good friends at Optimus Starters, starting every Polaris RZR in the Terracross Championship. And stoked to have Optimus Starters back with the Down and Dirty Radio Show and my Terracross rig for yet another season. I guess that means I'm going to be back with Terracross, Joe. Not that we didn't know that, but I guess we can formally announce that I'll be racing Terracross again this year, right?
Well, I would sure the hell hope so, Jim.
I mean, Jim, we need somebody to go do a triple front flip in a RZR down, down the course of the lay-in for TV. We need the entertainer. That is you.
Yeah, and you know what's funny?
Yeah, I don't know if Jim holds that title anymore after last season.
Yeah.
There was quite a few. People that were trying to take the Jim Beaver title away.
Yeah, and that was one I was gladly fine to give away. I think you're right. Like, there was a point there where I kind of hung on to that for a while, but after last season, like, there was. I think it's safe to say, like, I'm clear. Like, I think there's some people that have done a lot more damage than I actually did. So, I will say,
after how you raced,
and
almost won the championship. I mean, yeah, I think you've redeemed yourself, but there was probably 7-8 that has outdone your acrobatics in a RZR.
Yeah, well, you get those manglers going on, and you never know what the heck's gonna, or the Ripsaw Ridge, I guess they were called this last year, but yeah, it just breeds shenanigans. That's the easiest way to put it, man. I don't know. It's just something that
makes for great CBS Sports television, buddy.
Yeah, that's
great CBS Sports television and MAV television.
Yeah.
Lucas Oil MAV television.
Yeah, and those are airing currently, right? I know after the first of the year they started airing on MAV TV. I caught one of the airings, and then I'd watched them all when they were on CBS Sports. I haven't watched the reruns, but I do know are they still airing on MAV TV?
Yeah, they're on for like 12 weeks in a row on MAV TV, Lucas Oil Television there, and I think there's some re-airs going on as well, but I think it started late. It started right before the X Games, so it's got to go through probably at least March.
Yeah.
With airings.
Almost a perfect lead into next Terracross season, right? Starting in June.
Well, I think in the Terracross season, and then Lucas Oil Off-Road Nationals are kicking off here, and I think that's kind of that lead up into that show kicking off, and boy, do they have a big series, a big off-road program going on this year. It looks awesome.
Yeah, they've got a lot cranking over there with Lucas, that's for sure. But yeah, Terracross. I know I've been doing a lot of research, Joe, on these 4-wheel jamborees. I'm kind of excited that I get to go to like 3 of these this year because I know like General Tire, one of my big sponsors, they're really involved in the 4-wheel jamborees, and I started looking and I'm like, wow, these things are massive.
Yeah, they're cool. They've been around a long time. Just they're like a Heydays event, very similar to Heydays event. There's all kinds of activities for people to do. You could be a motorsports enthusiast or not. You know, it's at fairgrounds, so there's fair food and there's people watching, unbelievable people watching, and then of course there's all kinds of motorsports, and then you got the Terracross entertainment television piece that's coming to town, and we're bringing in obviously X Games athletes and MMA fighters and radio and TV show hosts and all kinds of racers from around the country, and actually talking to a couple of guys from other countries right now that are going to try and hit 1, maybe 2 events this year. So it should be pretty cool, and like you said, these 4-wheel jamborees are a perfect fit for what we do with Terracross and with the built-in crowd, the built-in vendors, and as this grows, they'll become more and more UTV side-by-side friendly events, and we already have UTV and side-by-side vendors and sponsors, excited about this. And especially we're kind of East Coast driven for those 3 jamborees right now, and that'll expand to the West for next season. And by having those 3 in the East Coast and pretty centrally located, we have access to a lot of people and a lot of potential enthusiasts, from Michigan and New York and obviously Pennsylvania and Ohio and Indy and Illinois and Wisconsin and Kentucky and Tennessee. There's just a lot of people can get to these events. They're within 4 to 6 hours of some major riding areas. So I think that's going to really be a cool aspect. And I don't know if you've seen on the videos, but they can drive their Jeeps and trucks and side-by-sides. You buy a pass and you can drive them through the event. It's like a constant parade during the event. And you show off, your builds and show off your vehicles. At the same time, you get to meet some great people and have a fun, fantastic event and get to watch some pretty damn cool racing.
Yeah, well, and that's one thing I like about Terracross past, 3 or 4 years that I've been doing it with you is all of us UTV racers and off-road people, in the Southwest, we're pretty saturated in this market, well-known and things like that. But for my brand and my partners, I'm able to break out and be in the Midwest and be on the East Coast and things like that. And it's been really good for me to be able to grow my personal brand just being at these different events around the country, where a lot of guys are just stuck here in the Southwest.
I think that's why a lot of the especially some of the new sponsors that are coming on board for this year and our current ones, it's going to be a good eye-opener to get to new potential customers, because they don't have that UTV side-by-side, push out there in the East. And this will help change that, especially that these events are, already pretty large events. And very similar to what happened out West is, a lot of the Jeep and truck, and especially the Sandrail guys, they all own either a second vehicle, which is a UTV or a side-by-side, or they have it as now their primary vehicle. And that's what's happening out East as well, that these guys are coming in, and they'll come in with their Jeep, and they'll have a side-by-side or a machine on the back, or one of these big decked-out trucks. And then they have both vehicles there at these events, and when they go riding, it's a pretty cool deal, and pretty pumped on how this is all coming together for these jamborees.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting. And like you said, just the people watching alone, you get some of these people in the lifted truck community from certain areas of the country, and they're different.
It's great people watching, yes. Jim. Let's leave it right at that. Great people watching. Yeah, and
I guess I'm already thinking we're getting the Crandon vibe at some of these. Like Crandon, you got the naked slip and slide and all that, like, back in the woods.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
I could totally see that happening at a four-wheel jamboree.
Well, I think Amy's starting it, isn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I am.
No.
Amy's going to come in her dinosaur costume and start the slip and slide.
I sure am. If you guys didn't know, I bought a blow-up dino costume and drove a Polaris Razor at Terracross.
Did donuts
it was fantastic.
It
was great social media, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, buddy. Before we let you go, I can't remember. Are you going to be at the Mint, or are you trying to make it out there?
Yeah, we're trying to make it out. For the Mint. We weren't able to make it last year. We had some meetings out east in regards to the jamborees, and this year looks like we're going to try and make it out. So we'll hit you guys up when we get out there, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Right on.
All right,
see you later, Joe.
See you, Amy.
All right.
Bye.
And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm R.J. Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jimmy Ramey Hood here, joined on the line by my buddy Vaughn Gittin Jr. How's everything going, Vaughn?
Hey! Good, my man. How are you?
Man, it has been far, far too long, buddy. I'm trying to think back. Like, I had you and Casey Currie on today, and I'm like, gosh, it's been like way too long since I've had both you guys on. Like once every 2 years, a year and a half. That's like, it needs to stop.
I agree, man. I always enjoy chatting with you, and make it more often.
Yeah. So we got a lot to talk about with you, a lot to catch up on. But first off, we got to talk a little King of the Hammers before we get into a lot of your fun having. But I know Hammers, you and I, we've known each other about 5-6 years now, and I know back to the start, you'd always told me, like, I want to get involved in off-road somehow. I need to expand my brand, and you built like one of the raddest Broncos I think I've ever seen. I would say your Bronco is like on the competition side is rad, and then Lucy Block's Bronco that Ken built her. Like those two Broncos right there, like my life is made if I could have both of them in my garage.
Yeah, it is so badass.
But, I mean, you built, you call it Brocky, right? But, I mean, kind of take us through this like evolution. I mean, you're still so knee deep in Formula Drift. You're like shoulder deep in there. You're not leaving that anytime soon. But tell me about kind of this dabbling over into the off-road side of things you've been doing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, 2 years ago, 2016, I was actually wrapping up vacation with my wife, and Middo gave me a call, and I vividly remember this. I was literally still on the beach wrapping up my vacay. And they're like, are you interested to come to King of the Hammers and race? And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, holy shit, King of the Hammers, rock climbing, never even thought of driving a vehicle up a rock. Like, I've seen that, but yes, I'm in, So I showed up, and I jumped in a spec truck that was built by the crew at Jimmy's 4x4, and fortunately had Lauren Healy, who's obviously a legend in that space and has been a great mentor to me, but he's in the passenger seat with me. And, I literally get there, and I jump in the truck, and we go to this old waterfall, right? And he's like, points at the waterfall. He's like, yeah, see that? And he's like, we're going to go up that. And I'm looking at this thing, right? And it's just straight up and down. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, funny, this is just like what you do with the rookies, joke with them, and and he's like, no, man, put it in low and drive up that thing. And so I put it in low and just start to attempt, going up this thing, and got hung up and backed up. And he told me what I did wrong. He's like, look, you need to keep the momentum. Gave me some feedback, and went right up it, and it would just kind of click. And I was like, oh, that's what these things can do, and. So anyway, I did a little bit of training there. I had Bailey Cole, Dave's son, who runs Ultra 4. His son races, and he jumped in with me a bit, and we did a couple climbs. And the next day, I raced King of the Hammers in the 4800 class, and finished top 10, and became, I think, the only, if not one of the only ever crossover drivers to finish King of the Hammers. And the bug bit me a bit, and so I, during the year, I worked on some things and partnered up with New Bright RC, and they wanted to build a cool RC car. So we talked about building a classic Bronco, and I hit up the crew at Jimmy's 4x4 because they built such a good, reliable truck that I raced the previous year. And that's where Brocky was born. I'd called them. I wanted to get my feet wet and go race the 4800 class, which is not a pro class, but still competitive. And Randy at Jimmy said, well, look, I've got an idea. I've been wanting to build this independent front suspension chassis that fits the 4500 class rules. And I was like, oh, perfect. I don't know anything. I'm like, that sounds cool. Let's do that. So, we built Brocky with the goal of debuting and running King of the Hammers in 2016. And,
just doing some learning in the 4,500 class, which is still a pro class, but it's not quite the barrier to entry of the unlimited 4,400.
Yeah.
So, we had some growing pains in, that year in 2016 as a brand new truck. And, I qualified and signed up for the 4,500 race and the 4,400 race just to get some seat time. And the 4,500, we had some new truck blues. And then the 4,400, I did a big rookie move trying to pass a guy going up a hill on a wall, ran out of space and flipped over right in front of him like a Barney. And, just constantly learning, right? And so after Hammers, went to some other events, some dirt ride events, and did some learning, got the truck sorted, and we ended up showing up at Ultra 4 Nationals in Reno, and we did really well and got the win there, which was really amazing, showing the progress and the approach is working. And, so fast forward to just a couple weeks ago at King of the Hammers 2017, I flew in from New Zealand. I was over there for a week with Ford and our RTR distributor who's out there, and flew right in, landed, drove, jumped in the truck, got a little bit warmed up, and went out and we qualified, and ended up qualifying first for the 4,500 class, which was super exciting. Was not expecting that, but was very excited to be starting, and have a chance to be out of the dust, which is a key thought we'll get to in a moment. Spent a couple of days out there at Hammers getting ready for the race. I also qualified for the 4,400 because I wanted to get some more seat time if, the truck was still alive. Qualified like 26 out of like 100 for that class. So, feeling pretty good about how things are working and our approach to things. And, come Thursday morning, the 4,500 race, we were fifth off the line. And we were just running at a really, nice pace. Everything was good, no rush. We had full race, and we were driving in some dust around mile marker number 7. And my co-driver, Glenn, he's just calling, we're talking on the radio. I'm like, you're driving for me. He's like, yep, got it, straight. And all of a sudden, we just boom, we hit this, what we believe to be a pretty big G out. That either a note was missed or we missed it while pre-running, or it just got dug out the previous races. I mean, you know how this goes out there. Yeah. So basically the truck hit the G out. The front, I thought the whole front end just completely was gone, but it turns out that at that point, I think we were just a little bit in the air. But basically the truck, the compression in the rear was so much, it rebounded and flipped us over. We did one full front flip, landed on the wheels, and unfortunately, my amazing co-driver for King of the Hammers, Glenn Donald, had hurt his back pretty good. So he ended up getting out of the truck and going and laying down on the side of the track, and he's yelling at me. He's like, "Vaughn, go, just finish the race." And I'm like, "No, man, no, I'm not leaving you in the middle of the desert, and he's just like, I think it was a very, panic moment in general. But I was able to wave the TV crew down. They grabbed him, and he went to get checked out, and he's now back home. He's been home for a bit and handling some recovery, but is in good spirits, and definitely a real bummer. All the way around was not how we envisioned anything to happen. But, like I mentioned, we're driving in some dust. We're excited to not be in dust, and it ended up biting us. So quite a few things learned from that on a bunch of, a lot of hindsight and discussion. So, we'll just keep positive vibes on my man Glenn, and he'll heal up, and, he's a super amazing rock crawler and, a hobbyist and a really good guy. So he'll be back at it in no time.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know because I know that was some questions swirling around social media how he was doing. But, man, I mean, off-road, there's so many things, drift is the same way, but there's so many things in off-road that can take you out, whether it be car or a missed note or just randomness, it's such a gnarly sport, just every aspect of it. But, I mean, what's the biggest thing like you coming over from drift? And I know you've done some road racing. I think with IMSA, right? But what's the biggest thing, the biggest change to your driving that you've had to learn, I mean, coming over from drift? I mean, it's had to have been just complete whirlwind. I mean, what's the biggest adjustment?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that's cool that people like to hear is the similarities. I'll definitely give you some of the differences. I think a lot of the similarities, I think all motorsport is very relative, and I hope people always ask, what's the best thing to do, and I always say, motocross. Motocross is the ultimate, throttle control, weight management, timing, everything you learn from, you can learn
being
from.
able to read the terrain, too, I think is important. Being able to read the terrain depending on what, to predict and judge your riding style or driving style.
For sure. And, so for me, going from motocross to drifting, I've done a little bit of road racing here and there, but I think the big thing that is equal in anything that you do is, look, you got a steering wheel, you got 4 tires on the ground, you have a certain amount of grip, and you're just managing weight and how that weight works on whatever terrain or surface you're on. So for me, the big thing from drifting that helped was throttle control and the feeling of traction. We're sideways, feeling grip every moment, even though the tires are spinning at, 30, 40% faster than vehicle speed. So when you get in the rocks and you're in the dirt, you know how to get that traction down to keep the vehicle driving forward, which has been very helpful. I think the biggest adjustment or thing that's kind of contrary to what you see, right? I mean, when you watch trophy trucks or any of these off-road or desert racing, you just hear the engine screaming, going through the whoops, just wah, wah, it's wild and intense and aggressive. But the real trick to this is to not get sucked in by the attrition, which means saving your equipment, knowing when to push, when not to push, and really having that strategy. And that's very challenging for a lot of people because you're in your truck, you're racing. I got to go, I'm racing. But, it's definitely a mindset shift, especially in a sport like drifting where you're so aggressive, to now kind of be pulling this back. And let's not forget, these trucks are like the funnest thing you could ever imagine driving. So it's like, you're constantly fighting with, hey, I'm racing, but damn, this is fun, but I don't want to hold back, but I need to finish this race. So that's been that's something I learned very well last year, and I thought that I was going to be able to execute it really well this year, and it was something that I was very mentally prepared for. Like I said, we weren't pushing. It wasn't like we were out of control or anything. It was just a really dumb freak thing, and I think, this is one of the only sports that has such a changing surface. You go pre-run 3 days, but there's 2 races between your race and everything kind of changes, So, there's a million things in hindsight of my personal situation, but I look at it as the overall and learning experience from this one is, hey, don't be driving in dust unless you have to. Yeah. And I didn't have to be where I was 7 miles into the race, Yeah. So that's definitely one thing on my end, but it's so fun, learning and adapting to these new sports, and the off-road community as a whole, man. I just got huge love. I mean, for me, I'm an enthusiast. I love cars. I love building and dreaming and making things come to life. But the one thing that I'm very fortunate, I travel a lot. I get to hang out with a lot of people, a lot of different enthusiasts. And, man, just the off-road space is just some unbelievable camaraderie and support, competitors jumping out and winching other competitors. Like, where else does that happen? It's really awesome, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. Hey, Vaughn, can you hang tight? We got to take a commercial break, buddy, but I want to definitely talk about 2018 drift and a bunch of other stuff after the break if you got a couple minutes to hang tight.
Yeah, man, for sure.
All right, we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more with Vaughn Gittin Jr. after this short commercial. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at ImpactRaceProducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Houde? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Houde 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right, and we're back with more here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Amy Houde, Jim Beaver, and Vaughn Gittin Jr., And I know, Vaughn, Amy's got a couple of questions for you before we start jumping into Formula Drift. So I got no idea what's coming at you, buddy, but I know she's got something for you.
Well, no, I just
so I'm excited.
I just really wanted to pick your brain, and maybe this is even. I like to also educate our listeners, and just listening to you and kind of your jump from one motorsport discipline to the next. I'm kind of in this position right now where I am struggling with this, and I think it's honestly because of my two-wheel background. I do like to think that, yes, motocrossers, we are the most adaptable because we kind of faced with every problem or situation or solution in a moto setting. But going from two wheels to four, I am very much challenged with this weight distribution and understanding weight distribution and understanding how the four tires work in a setting where, on a dirt bike, you just go rail or rut as fast and hard as possible and transfer that weight from, with your foot peg. And it really has not much to do with your tires. It's body weight. Well, when I'm in a 12,000-pound monster truck, my body weight does not matter. And I am very much struggling to find that how I can be in control of my four wheels when I'm in a racing setting. Like, don't get me wrong, I can sky wheelie and walk a wheelie across that path better than anybody, but I am having a hard time adjusting my racing technique that I have learned from two wheels to four. Where do you find that, that brain switch? Where is it where you have to turn that aggressive riding style off, and how do you adjust? And I'm thinking monster trucks are very much more like Formula Drift, where, it's a flat surface. It's not, you're not really the same terrain as, say, a desert or off-road setting. I think the drift setting and a monster truck setting is more similar. Like, where is the difference? Where's the mindset? How do I adjust?
Sure. Yeah, so, I mean, that is definitely would be different for everyone, but my approach, so when I went from motocross, I was racing motocross at an amateur level, but playing around in a car at the same time, like just going to industrial parks and playing. So that's how I really learned weight management of a vehicle. But now with my experience, to answer your question, I would look at it as, okay, so the way that you move your weight, right? So I always, when I tell people about driving a car, I tell them always visualize a pendulum like hanging from the middle of the car, right? And when you accelerate, that pendulum goes backwards. When you hit the brakes, that pendulum goes forward. So if you were to take your body on your dirt bike and pretend that's the pendulum, right? And when you're going into a turn, you're up on your gas tank, turned in, right? All your weight on the front. And then when you're coming out of that turn, you're gradually moving your weight to the rear to get the traction to the rear so that you can drive off the turn. So it's a very similar thing. It's a very similar thing with a four-wheel drive vehicle. So like, especially in the dirt, if you're on throttle, unless you're sideways, those things aren't turning. I don't care what you're in, you're not turning because a lot of them have anti-squat and a ton of grip in the back, and it overcomes the front. So whenever you're making a turning input, you need to make sure that your pendulum or your weight is on the wheels that need to react to you, right? So when you're in your monster truck, if you need to turn, you can't just, unless you're super aggressive and rotate it with the throttle, you need to, be on the brakes. I've never driven a monster truck, but you need to get the weight to the front so the front end can hook and then, it can turn. Obviously, if it's got a locker, it's not going to turn as nicely. But, I think for you need to, like what you would do with your body on your dirt bike, if you just started translating that to just weight moving in whatever vehicle that you're in, I think that, that will be helpful, right? Like when you're driving, visualize what you would do on your dirt bike, right? You're coming to a turn and you would be pushing up to the gas tank. Well, maybe now you're dabbing the brakes a bit, and then when you feel that thing starting to bite, then you can gradually get back on throttle till you're pointed at where you need to go.
I think I'm going to need to go buy a pendulum on eBay and have it hanging from
you have one, and it's in your butt. I mean, like it's your butt dyno. You know what I mean? Like you feel the weight, you feel it. You just. And that's the biggest thing and that's the timing thing, right? And that's a lot of things. A lot of things people struggle with is like they're trying to turn the vehicle while the pendulum is still like rear and left, and they wonder why it wants to go the opposite way. You have to work with the weight. You're never going to overcome the weight in a vehicle. It's always going to win. So you have to be, as smooth or as aggressive tossing it.
It's crazy how I can mentally know that. And, with a dirt bike, I feel like I'm in much more control. Like I put the bike where I want it to go. But when you jump to anything four wheels, that machine is very much in control, and you have to learn what it is going to do and how it's going to react. Where I'm used to woman handling my bike around and throwing it where I want to put it. So it's really cool and interesting to hear these people, and especially your background with drift and now off-road, because I think, it like you said, there's everything relates to everything else. Like there's something you can learn, and even going from Dirtfish and, I got a little knowledge on, like you said, Cool Calm Collective and being patient. I've learned a lot of patience driving a four-wheel vehicle, but it's so cool and it's so interesting hearing other people's, strategy and the knowledge behind it and how I can adapt my driving style to that. So again, I just love hearing what other people have to offer. It's good.
Yeah,
good
well,
learning for
good
me.
luck and breathing is your best friend when it comes to being calm and focus on the job.
Yeah. So speaking of breathing, we got Formula Drift coming up, man. The kickoff, Long Beach. Not too far away. What are we, like 2 months out? But, I mean, shoot, you can't breathe much in an FD run, man. They happen, happen so quick. But, I mean, what are we looking at for the 2018 season? I've seen like a massive shift in Formula D in the past 2 or 3 years. And obviously, some of the guys like you and Forsberg are still at the top of your game. But there's such a new crop of drivers coming in that are challenging you guys. And that's got to be I mean, from a fan perspective, I think it's really exciting, but you from a driver perspective, man, how have you had to change your program to adapt? You guys are, constantly having to elevate every single year.
Yeah, it's actually kind of getting out of hand. It's gotten to the point where I don't even watch practice or competitors anymore because, you kind of forget that you're also doing the same thing, and it just looks so absurd. So I just kind of like live in my own world right now when I'm at the Formula Drift events. But it's a very exciting time in our sport. I love the growth of it and the new drivers coming in, keeping everyone on the toes. I mean, you nailed it. I mean, 100%. There's new blood, there's new mindsets, and everybody is coming out swinging and keeping us that have been there since day one, on our toes. And you know what? Win, lose, or draw. If I have a good battle with somebody, I'm pumped on it. I'm pumped that the crowd got to experience it. And, when one of these new guys, takes me out, when that happens, you would think I'd be mad, but I'm actually super pumped on it. It's obviously you don't ever want to lose, but you're really, proud of the effort. Like, what that means when someone shows up and gets that win. For instance, last year, I brought on Chelsea DeNova as a teammate. He's been a killer out there for a long time. And, now he's the first year being on he went from, 2016 being, team owner, driver, fixing his car, engineering his car, crashing his car, and to showing up to a professional, the RTR Motorsports team and showing up and focusing on driving. And most of the year was a very much learning year, learning processes, learning how things go. And then we line up in Seattle and he whooped my butt. It was definitely a very close battle, but in the end, the judges felt he won. And, here's a guy, same team, same car. The only different variable is the setup that we call for that run and the driver, and as a driver, you're like, I want to be the best, but for me, it was just so validating, and I was so proud of him. There was no ego. Of course, a little bit. I was like, oh man, I lost. That sucks. But I lost in the same car. Yeah. But I was so proud of him and my team, and it's just like validation of what we're doing. And for James Dean, to come over from Ireland, this kid's been dreaming of coming back to Formula D after his a 10-year hiatus. I forget James's age. I think he's 21 or 22.
Young, I can't remember, but he's super young.
He just waxed all of us. He waxed everyone. I didn't get the opportunity to battle him last year, and I really am looking forward to that because, I either want to beat him or I want him to beat me to seal how epic he's been just going through champions. But proud of the man. Like he put his passion together. He chased the business to make it happen. He showed up and executed. And this is, that's what champions are made of. And look, it takes one to know one, and you have to give the respect when somebody can do something like that, the level that we're running these days.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of, it's kind of awesome to hear you say that because I've talked to Forsberg and I think he very much feels the same way. That you guys are proud because you helped grow this sport. I mean, obviously, there's guys like, you talk to Ryan Sage and I mean, you guys are all like family, because you guys were there at the start from day one, but I feel like you guys all have a stake in the game with this sport to see where it's at today. And I think, like you said, it's validating. Like you guys are proud of where it's at and to see these new guys come in and it's you have such a personal investment into the sport of drift in the United States.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's the sport's growing, attendance is up. I mean, it's just really exciting. Manufacturers are more and more getting involved. Obviously, I have a great relationship with Ford, and the Mustang is obviously the perfect vehicle for drift. But it's just spawned in a lot of other things. For myself, with obviously a lot of effort behind the scenes. But it's just a great sport. It's accessible, and if you're in town, first week of April, Long Beach downtown, it's a great vibe. It's great people. We'd love to have you out.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at my schedule, and I know we've got the UTV World Championship the same weekend as the FD round there in Long Beach, and I got commitments in the
that's
UTV
probably
World.
Pretty important to you.
Yeah, but the next weekend, I'll be in Long Beach for like 4 or 5 days, but I know it's like the Super Drift Challenge, and I don't know if you're doing that or not. But it's like I got to get out to one of the events this year for sure. Maybe Vegas. Maybe I'll fly. Sage and I were talking at SEMA, and he's like, Jimmy, you just got to come out to one. And I'm like, I know, my schedule's nuts.
You do, man. You do.
Yeah.
And hey, if you haven't, by the way, I don't know if you know, but we debuted. Obviously, I own and I'm the visionary of RTR. We make, we build turnkey Mustangs for the past few years, available at Ford dealerships. Well, we just debuted our F-150 muscle truck concept at SEMA, and that should be available later this year in Ford dealers. So you should definitely check that thing out. It's got a nice aggressive low and wide stance, but if you take it off a jump, the suspension falls out and we'll catch you nicely, and supercharged 5-liter, over 600 horsepower, and just a blast. It's not a Raptor, by no means the capability of a Raptor, but enough for someone to have a seriously good time.
Nice. Yeah, I saw it at SEMA, man. Thing was sick. We'll definitely have to keep in the loop. I know I'm going to make it out to one, man. Maybe we'll all bring the equipment and we'll just throw down some radio at your compound, like a live show or something like that. We'll make some fun out of it.
That sounds like a good time, and I definitely, I'll catch up with you here soon about that Star Car opportunity you have going on. That sounds, as a professional fun haver, I'm always down for a good time and a challenge. So
yeah,
I'm into it.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to. We'll have to figure something out. We got Vegas to Reno coming up, and that's like a 500 miler, so we could throw you in there for a couple 100 miles. So
that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, man. I'll give you a shout sometime soon. But great having you on air, buddy. Take care. Tell your wife hey, and we'll chat soon.
All right, my man. Well, thank you much, and good luck with your monster trucks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to try to apply some of those techniques you told me and kill it.
All right. Well, I hope it works. Have fun and be safe out there.
All right. Take it easy, Vaughn.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. That was Vaughn Gittin Jr. We got to take a short break. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RZRLife to share your story.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim B. Ramey Hood here, wrapping things up. Just getting done with Vaughn Gittin Jr. Went a little bit overtime with that one, but always fun catching up with the professional fun haver. I guess I know two of them now, Amy and Vaughn, but I'm sure you'll share the title with Vaughn, right, Hood?
Yeah, I think he really has to challenge me for that professional fun haver because so I don't see him wheeling in bikinis anytime soon. Okay, Vaughn? Okay?
Yeah, no. Let's hope he doesn't. But, yeah. Always fun catching up with him, man. Casey Currie, Matt Martelli, Joe Duncan. We had a slam-packed show. Getting ready for the Mint 400 coming up in a couple of weeks. Supercross still happening. I got to give a shout-out to my boy Kyle Pauline. Had a bad off there in snowcross, and he's healing up. He's all right, but he is out for the rest of snowcross season. Sounds like Kenner Oxen's out for the rest of Supercross season. Man, they're dropping like flies. Not a good thing, that's for sure. But I got to give a shout-out to all our friends, nursing injuries there. Big thanks to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, KC Highlights, Vision Wheel, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish Impact, Optimus Starters, MotoShield Pro. You're going to be hearing a lot more about our friends at MotoShield Pro, Terracross, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino. I am at Jim Beaver 15. Amy is at Amy Hood 71. Make sure and subscribe to both the Down and Dirty Radio Show and Project Action on iTunes, and you're looking for a coupon code, it's JB Dirtfish for 15% off at Dirtfish Rally School. And don't forget, Amsoil.com/Indy will get you into that Indy 500 Ultimate Fan Experience in the drawing for that. And I know I've got some big Star Car news dropping next Tuesday. Amy, we've got some big news regarding you that we aren't going to talk about this week, but maybe next week we'll schedule that in for like a segment to talk about that and what we've got coming in March with you, right?
Yes, absolutely. Big, wild news coming in March, I guess.
Yeah, wild. Keyword wild. Yeah, keyword wild. So, but thanks to all of you guys for tuning in this week. We'll be back next week with more. Make sure and, tune in. We'll have this Vaughn Gittin Jr. interview uncut on Project Action this week. Be safe. As always, game on.